Chess World Cup final between Koneru Humpy and Divya Deshmukh has ended in a draw after 41 moves. And you could say that, okay, maybe both players were trying to ensure that they got into the groove in this final encounter. I mean, you could see it in the opening itself, the d4, d5 opening that was there. It's a very queen spawn opening, which is very, very drawish at this point in time. So, Humpy with the white pieces and Divya with the black pieces, there wasn't much counterplay at all, and after a certain point in time they just managed to play it out until move number 41, when they had the increment. Certain checks were given, but some perpetuals and some repetitions later, this was decided, okay, let us have a draw. And both the games, Lei Tingji and Tan Zhongyi, even the third place playoff, that also ended in a draw. And Koneru Humpy versus Divya Deshmukh for the summit title clash, that also ended in a draw. So that is why game one is done in the final, and you're now going to go the full distance tomorrow, because tomorrow is game number two. Colors will be reversed at this stage. Divya will be having white, Humpy will be having black. So it was a tremendous, if you look at it, you could see one particular portion in which Divya was smiling that, okay, maybe she could have had an opening or such, but it unfortunately was not the case. And that is why the game petered out to a very, very dull draw. And because of that, now certain things will have to be considered, like what is the tactic that Divya Deshmukh and Koneru Humpy will have to employ, what they have to do in order to ensure that they win the second game, because both have shown that tactically they can be very, very aggressive at this stage. However, if you look at the key point in this, was that Divya Deshmukh was under some bit of time pressure. But that time pressure kind of evaporated when Humpy took close to 20 to 30, 25 minutes on just one move alone. And that kind of negated the time advantage that Koneru Humpy had. And because of that, now they both were on equal terms, even at the fair end. 2 minutes Divya had, 5 minutes Humpy had, and that is why she just couldn't break through at this point. Although engines had suggested if there was one bad mistake, then it was winning for white. But that mistake didn't come about, and that is why Divya Deshmukh and Koneru Humpy have played out a solid draw, 41 moves, and all action now shifts to tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last classical game in the FIDE Women's World Cup final. Either of them wins, they get the title. But if that game also ends in a draw, then you will see tiebreakers being played on Monday. Monday will be the day where the tiebreakers will take place, and that is why both of them would want to win. But if it goes into tiebreakers, then I think Humpy has the edge, because she's shown that in tiebreakers, especially in rapid and blitz, she is one of the best in the business. And Humpy, remember, is a two-time rapid champion. And also, she beat Lei Tingji in the blitz section by absolutely winning the two games in dramatic fashion. So if it goes into tiebreakers, it could be trouble for Divya Deshmukh, because Humpy is far more experienced. Humpy, if you look at it, she has had experience of playing in the finals before, especially the World Rapid events. You look at all the others, so that's why big, big day coming up tomorrow. You're in the last few stages of the Women's Chess World Cup in Georgia, where you will see maybe Divya Deshmukh or Koneru Humpy go for the win. Whatever happens, end of the day, India will only win the World Cup. And that is how it's going to be very, very, sorry. That's why it's still historic no matter what. So will Humpy win tomorrow or Divya win tomorrow, or are we going to see this final go into tiebreakers? You can write to us in the comments below, but looking at how the match petered out today, I think it might go into tiebreakers. That's the feeling that I'm getting at this point in time, and considering how positionally good both players were in the final. So that's why Humpy Divya, first game ends in a draw. Second game, same time, 4:30 p.m. IST, the last classical game of the Chess World Cup will take place tomorrow. You see no result in that, you will have tiebreakers then on Monday to decide who will be the new World Cup winner, Humpy or Divya. But in the end, only India wins. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live update. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.